Look, nobody moves to a place like Sunny Acres expecting Game of Thrones level drama. But here we are. It all started when Karen, that. Karen, the one with the bob haircut and a clipboard permanently glued to her hand, decided she was the queen of our HOA. This woman could sniff out a blade of grass half an inch too tall and slap you with a fine before you could blink. Me, I'm just Jake, 32 single, and trying to enjoy my little slice of suburbia without someone breathing down my neck about my mailbox color. Sunny Acres is one of those cookie-cutter neighborhoods' manicured lawns, white picket fences, and a community pool that's supposed to be our oasis. Supposed to be. Karen, though, had other plans. As HOA president, she turned that pool into her personal fiefdom, enforcing rules like she was guarding Fort Knox. No guests without a pass. No floats bigger than a beach ball. No music. No fun. If you dared bring a buddy over, she'd be there with her whistle, ready to write you up. The end. I kept my head down, followed the rules, even painted my damn mailbox HOA-approved taupe. But Karen, she had a knack for pushing buttons, and mine were officially mashed. It started small. Karen's always had a thing for power trips, but when she started letting her own family, cousins, uncles, random in-laws flood the pool every weekend, I got suspicious. These people weren't residents. No passes. No nothing. Just Karen waving them in like she owned the place. Meanwhile, my buddy Mike got a $50 fine for bringing his kid's floaty. The hypocrisy was thicker than the sunscreen Karen slathered on. I tried reasoning with her once, at an HOA meeting. "Hey, Karen, how come your family gets a free pass?" I asked, all polite-like. She smirked, adjusted her visor, and said, "Jake, my guests are vetted. Yours, not so much." The room snickered, and I felt my blood boil. That was the moment I knew this wasn't about rules. It was about Karen's ego. I wasn't going to let her steamroll me or the rest of the neighborhood anymore. The real kicker came last summer. Karen announced a family reunion at the pool, inviting what looked like half the state of Ohio. I'm talking 20-plus people, coolers of beer, a boombox blaring Jimmy Buffett, and kids cannonballing like it was spring break. The rest of us couldn't even get a lounge chair. I watched Mrs. Rodriguez, who's 70 and just wanted to float quietly, get shooed away by Karen's drunk uncle. Enough was enough. I started asking around, and turns out, I wasn't alone. Sarah, the single mom next door, was fed up after Karen fined her for excessive splashing. Tom, the retired vet across the street, got a citation for unapproved pool attire because his swim trunks were red, not navy. The neighborhood was simmering, and I figured it was time to turn up the heat. Here's the thing about Sunny Acres. The pool gate has a digital code, changed monthly by the HOA board. Karen, in her infinite wisdom, never shared the new codes with anyone but her inner circle. But I'm no dummy. I'd been on the HOA board a couple years back, and I knew the maintenance guy, Dave, who had access to the master override. Dave was as sick of Karen as I was. She'd once written him up for leaving a ladder out overnight. Over beers at my place, I pitched him my plan. "Dave, what if we change the code right before Karen's big reunion encore?" His eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas. "Jake, you're speaking my language," he said, clinking his bottle against mine. We set it up new code, no warning, and a little something extra to rub it in. The day of Karen's next pool party rolled around. A scorcher in late July. I woke up early, grabbed a spray can from my garage, and painted a sign on a piece of plywood pool, closed. Karen's rules don't apply. It was petty, sure, but it felt good. Dave slipped me the new code, and by noon, I was lounging by the pool, beer in hand, watching the chaos unfold. Karen showed up with her entourage, 2 loud uncles in Hawaiian shirts, a pack of kids with floaties, and a sulky teen glued to his phone. They marched to the gate, Karen punching in the old code like she owned the world. Beep. Denied. She tried again. Beep. Denied. Her face turned the color of a ripe tomato as she rattled the gate, screaming. Who did this? Her family started bickering, kids whining, uncles cracking open beers right there on the sidewalk. Neighbors peeked out from their patios, some giggling, others whispering. I just sipped my drink, sunglasses on, acting like I was watching a Netflix special. Karen spotted me and stormed over, as much as you can storm when you're stuck outside a locked gate. Jake, you little punk, did you do this? She shrieked. I shrugged, cool as a cucumber. Karen, maybe it's karma. You know, for all those vetted guests of yours. The crowd behind her started muttering, and I swear I saw her teen smirk. Then she noticed the sign, and oh boy, that was the twist she didn't see coming. Her eyes bugged out, and she started yelling about lawsuits and vandalism. But the neighbors, they were done. Sarah stepped up, arms crossed, and said, Karen, you've been breaking your own rules for months. We're just leveling the playing field. Tom chimed in. Yeah. Maybe check the HOA bylaws before you throw another rager. The crowd was turning, and Karen knew it. She stomped off, her family trailing behind, defeated. The fallout was glorious. Word spread, and by the next HOA meeting, Karen was out as president. Turns out, half the board had been waiting for an excuse to boot her. The pool rules got rewritten fair ones. This time, and Dave got a raise for maintaining community morale. I won't lie. I felt like a small-town hero, even if my weapon was just a gate code and some spray paint. Karen still glares at me when I mow my lawn, but she's quiet now. And her family reunions? They're at the public pool downtown. Sunny Acres is peaceful again, and I'm back to enjoying my beer by the water. No whistle in sight? So, yeah, if your HOA's got a Karen, don't just take it. Get creative, rally the neighbors, and give her a taste of her own medicine. You might just win the day.